Hello and welcome to Crochet. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do this super easy corner to corner crochet technique that lets you create really simple stitches into this beautiful pattern that you can use for striping, and it makes one of the best blanket patterns because it's so easy to remember, it is so easy to do, and it looks really impressive even though honestly it's not. You just need to know how to chain and how to double crochet and how to slip stitch, and that is it. Beginner friendly, absolutely beautiful, and when you use multiple colors, it is so much fun. So for this project, I'm going to be using this Karen Blossom Cake. I have so much of this yarn from making a blanket project, and I would just like to use a bunch of it in these videos to get rid of it. You know, we're stash busting here. I'm going to be using just a single color just to show you how the concept works, and then you can change color whenever you want while you're making your own projects. You'll also want to have a hook in the recommended hook size for whatever yarn you have, so I have a 5mm. We'll have a tapestry needle for weaving in our ends later, and of course scissors to cut our yarn. But before we jump into this cool stitch tutorial, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're looking for beginner crochet patterns, you can find a link to my Etsy in the description down below to find some really fun stuff that you can make. So we're just going to start with a slip knot and then chain 6. So we're going to insert our hook into our slip knot, and to chain, all you need to do is take your hook, grab onto that yarn and pull it through. So we're going to do that 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you're going to have 6 chains to work through, and we're going to be placing 3 double crochets starting in the 4th chain from the hook. So we're not going to work in these first 3. We're going to start in the 4th one and place a double crochet here, a double crochet here, and a double crochet here. So we're going to place that first double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that 4th chain, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So then we'll have this. So we've got our chain 3 space here, and then our first double crochet. So then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that 5th chain from the hook, and make another double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then double crochet into that last chain. And we will pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay. So this is our first row of corner to corner where you've got 3 double crochets and a chain 3. So we're going to turn our work, and then we are going to chain 6 again and do the exact same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we are going to place our first double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then place another one in the 5th and 6th chain, skipping those first 3 entirely. So we'll go into this chain here, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And then create the double crochets in those other 2 chains as well for our little 3 double crochet cluster there. Okay. And the 3rd one. So then you'll have something that looks like this, and your second one is kind of going to look like, whoa, why are you so far away from that first one? We don't need to worry about that because we're going to be slip stitching into this hole here that was created by that chain 3 space. So you'll insert your hook into that hole that we had from that 3 chains, and then pull up a loop for 2 loops on your hook, and then pull that loop that you just pulled up through the chain, or through the loop that was already on your hook, so that you have this. And from here, what we're going to do is insert 3 double crochet after chaining 3. So we're going to do a chain 3 to create our chain 3 space that we would slip stitch into in the next round, and then do 3 double crochet in this space. So we'll do chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and then 3 double crochet inside. All of this is inside of that chain space from the previous round. So it's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. And that is the end of round 2. So every time that you add a new round, until you start decreasing later, of course, you're going to add another section to it. So your first round's going to have 1 square, your next round's going to have 2, the round after that will have 3, and it will just continue in that pattern, adding 1 square every time. And from here, we're just going to do the exact same thing. You're just repeating this process over and over again. So we're just going to chain 6, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll be placing, starting in the 4th chain from the hook, a double crochet in 3 of those chains. So in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we'll double crochet in all 3 of those. And the 3 chains that we aren't crocheting into are going to create our chain space that we'll work into in a future round. So we'll do those 3 double crochets. And then we'll have that same thing where it's kind of facing the wrong direction, but that's okay because we're just going to slip stitch into the next chain 3 space here to lock it in that row. So we'll insert our hook into the chain 3 space from this row. So we'll stick our hook in here, grab onto that yarn, and then pull through the yarn on our hook. And then we'll continue with chaining 3 to give us that chain 3 space for the next round. Chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3, and then place 3 double crochet into that same space. Okay, so we have something that looks like this, and you can see it always looks like your work that you just did is far away from the next one, but it's all good because you're just going to insert your hook into that chain 3 space, pull up a loop, and slip stitch, and then they're going to become best friends and live together forever. And that's what you're going to have now. So we've got 3 on this side, 2, and then we're going to add the 1 up top, doing the exact same thing with a chain 3, and then 3 double crochet into that chain space that we also slip stitched into a second ago. So double crochet 3 into that spot, 2 and 3, and then we'll have this little ladder looking cutie patootie. And that is how easy it is to corner crochet. But we do need to know also how to decrease, because eventually you're going to want to make it into a square or a rectangle. And to do that, you do have to do something slightly different, because if we were to continue to chain 6 and add more stitches, it's just going to keep getting bigger. But we do want it to end up being a square like this, or a rectangle if you want to make a really big blanket. So instead of chaining 6, when you get to the point where you want to be able to decrease, you're going to turn your work and you're going to slip stitch your way across the stitches here until you can slip stitch into this chain 3 space. So for this, I'm going to skip this first double crochet top that I have there, and I'm going to just go insert my hook into the second one, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the loop that's already on the hook, and then do that in that second or that third double crochet that's there, slip stitch through that one. And you can see it's going to make a nice little border there on the edge, and then we'll insert our hook into that chain 3 space, and we'll do a slip stitch into that one as well. And then you can kind of turn your work so that you're facing the right direction to continue. And then we are going to do our chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then place our 3 double crochet into that chain 3 space. So you're just working it the same way. The only thing you're doing differently is the start of the round so that you don't keep making it bigger. So then you would have a chain 3 and 3 double crochet. And then you can slip stitch into this next one and do your chain 3, 3 double crochet into that spot. So chain 3, place your first double crochet, and then another double crochet. And another double crochet. And then we would just slip stitch into that chain 3 in the next one. And if you wanted to make it a square, what you would do here is you would go and slip stitch, turn, slip stitch across, and do the exact same thing we just did to make a square. If you want to make a rectangle, you are able to just decrease on one side and continue growing on the other side to make it longer. But for this, we'll just do our square. So we're here in this chain 3 space, and what I'm going to do is just slip stitch across these 3 double crochets that are in this second cluster section here to get us over so that we can get into that chain 3 and do our last little grouping for corner to corner. So now we have this, and then we'll slip stitch into that chain 3 space, turn our work around a little bit, and then we can work our very last chain 3, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and our last 3 double crochets into here. There's 1, there's 2, and 3. So then you've got something that looks like this, and we're just going to slip stitch into this last chain 3 space, and then we'll cut our work and weave in our ends. But that is how easy it is to do a corner to corner. All you need to remember is that you start with 6 chains, work into the 4th chain from the hook, and do 3 double crochet. And then the rest of the time you're just working those chain 3s, 3 double crochet into those chain 3 spaces and making it as big and as exciting as you want it to be. This is a stitch that you can honestly do while watching TV and just like kind of zone out, and it's so peaceful and fun, and it has a really cool texture to it. And if you use a bigger hook and it gets all like soft and flowy, you can definitely get some really great blankets with this stitch. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really enjoyed sharing my favorite craft with you today. I hope you're having a marvelous day, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.